Welcome to the arena. Let me ask you something before we drop in today. How much of your life do you think was actually planned? Like genuinely planned, where you sat down, made a decision, executed it, and things went exactly the way you expected? If you're being honest, probably not as much as you'd like to believe. Today, we're playing Call of Duty Warzone, one of the most chaotic, unpredictable games out there, and we're exploring something that might change the way you look at your entire life. Chaos theory. Not the Hollywood version with dinosaurs and Jeff Goldblum.
See, the Tyrannosaur doesn't obey any set patterns or park schedules. It's the essence of chaos.
The real version, the one a political scientist named Brian Klaas explores in his book called Fluke, Chance, Chaos, and Why Everything We Do Matters. Here's the core idea we're going to unpack together. Our lives are shaped far more by randomness, luck, and tiny, unpredictable events than most of us want to admit. We tell ourselves these clean stories, like, I got the job because I worked hard, or things happen for a reason, or I'm where I am because of my choices, and those stories feel good, they feel true, but are they the whole truth? Klaas argues, and the research tends to support him, that a vacation in 1926 determined which Japanese city got nuked in 1945. That a man survived 9/11 because someone gave him a tie, and he decided to iron it. That a cloud shifted the target of an atomic bomb from one city to another. Small random events snowballing into massive consequences. That's what we're diving into, and here's what's fascinating. Warzone is actually the perfect lens for this. Because in this game, we accept chaos. We don't control where the circle closes. We don't control who drops next to us. We don't control the loot. But we still play, we still strategize, we still try to win. So, what if we applied that same mindset to life? Let's find out together. Okay, we are getting ready for a match. And we're going to play some Battle Royale Verdansk. And this is my Monkitek meta loadout this is for the Resurgence map, in case you were interested. I'm rocking the MPC and the MXR-17 with a Fang hover point elo for some accuracy and a giant drum mag in case I miss a whole bunch of shots, because that does happen. And since we're playing a big map, I got my big map loadout, the sniper loadout. This is the SMG version of the MXR. Really cool, you guys should check it out. And the VS Recon, not a lot of people are using this, but I like it. Has a good quick scope, a good ADS, and yeah, you can take out guys pretty easily with it. So let's get ready to drop into a match. We are playing some Verdansk. So, something for you to think about. Think about where you're sitting right now. Watch this. In this moment, what chain of random events led you here? Maybe a friend shared the channel with you. Maybe an algorithm surfaced it. Maybe you were scrolling at exactly the right second. We rarely trace these chains backward, but when we do, the randomness is staggering.
We're headed to the Warzone. Get geared up. Stand by.
All right, let's test out this big map loadout. Diving in hard. Gotta get warmed up. First game of the day. And it always freaks me out how the bots like to smack you. Yeah, it's a pretty quick ADS. Not the best. Whoa, oh no. Hey. Alrighty. We're doing it. Well.
Enemy soldier incoming.
So, tell me what games you guys like to play. I really like Call of Duty, Warzone. It's free to play. And it is extremely chaotic and often very, very sweaty, full of sweaty players who are movement demons and Yeah, it's pretty crazy, especially with the new update with all the grappling when you're all by your lonesome, all by yourself out in the middle of nowhere. And then you get grappled on by like a team of 4 guys. That is super freaky and very terrifying. The sound of the grapple is just makes my hair stand up. Yes. All right, so we're going for some contracts. Over here, looks like the circle is going to be probably a good sniping spot, so I'm glad I have a good sniper loadout. And we're going to do some recons. I don't know how I feel about doing recon contracts. It does help you see where the circle's going to go. But, and I mean, it's a good strategy, but you got to live, you got to survive until you reach the final circle, so I don't know. Personally, I rather go for money, going for the, what is it, the thing, the magnifying glass, the thing where you go find the packages. Yeah, I don't remember. You know what I'm talking about. So we're looting up, and while we're looting, I want you to think about something. How often do you catch yourself saying, everything happens for a reason, when something goes wrong? That is so common. I don't know if you say that, if you use that as a reasoning, oh, everything happens for a reason. It is a very common thing to say when you don't understand what the heck is happening. It's one of those phrases we use almost reflexively, but if we paused and asked, does it? Or is that just a story we tell ourselves to feel less uncomfortable with uncertainty? Something to think about. It does help you deal with uncertainty when you don't know if it's all going to work out. If you think that there's a reason that everything is happening, it gives you some comfort even if it might not be true. Gotta look for a good gun now. Okay, that'll do. We still have the recon going on. I always try to look for grapples immediately. I am desperately looking for grapples. And gonna take out this bot over here. Oh man, my aim is all over the place. It's the first game of the day, bear with me. I gotta warm up. I promise you, once I'm warmed up, we're gonna start hitting our shots. Alright, rockin' the recon. So, when was the last time a bad day turned out to be weirdly important later? Maybe you missed a bus and met someone or got rejected from a job you would have hated. We tend to only notice these connections in hindsight, but they're happening all the time. And oh yeah. Alright, gonna complete this recon.
Capture complete. Hell of a job. Uploading information on the next.
Yeah, bad days happen all the time, and you just gotta go with the flow. Maybe it happened for a reason, maybe it happened for the best. But one thing about having a bad day is that,
Enemy soldier incoming.
let's say you hit an obstacle that prevented you from reaching a goal. Was that a bad day? Well, you can always turn obstacles into opportunities. That's something that I really like to tell myself when you hit a wall, let's say. Ooh. Yes, we need to kill more bots. And I need an SMG.
Supply box is marked. Secure those.
Oh yes, we got a loadout already. Yes, get the boxes, get the money. I heard somebody over here. I thought I heard somebody fly in. Oh, get the box, what are you doing? Get the box over here. Yes.
Supply box.
And not much in the box. Nope. Okay, not much.
I'll take the wheel.
Alright, I guess I'm just gonna do boxes. These bots seem to appear out of nowhere. And they're getting better and better. I've almost died to bots many times.
Loading new mag.
Many times. Oh, that guy's doing a little finishing move. So if you could rewind your life and change one tiny decision, like taking a route to school one day or sitting in a different seat, how different do you think things would be? Most of us assume not much, but chaos theory says maybe wildly different. That's one thing I really like about Call of Duty, is that it's so random and so chaotic. Especially when you're playing with random teammates. I don't know, maybe that's my issue. Maybe I just need to play with teammates that do the exact same thing. But I've watched a lot of pro players out there that play with teammates or play on their own, and they're really good, and they have a strategy that wins a high percentage of the time, but you know, they don't always win. Nobody always wins because it's so chaotic. You could land in an area that normally doesn't have people, and then all of a sudden you have a ton of people. And in this scenario, it seems like everything's working out pretty good. I have a good team. They already got loadout. They're going to get my big map loadout and some grapples, and I guess we're going to do a bounty. Yes, grapples. Grapples. Alrighty, we are off, and I think I'm gonna go for that bounty, which is... Whoop. Man, these bots are oddly hard to hit sometimes when they shimmy back and forth. Wiggle. Seems like real players are a little bit easier to predict, but these bots, even though they don't move super fast, they have this slight side-to-side movement. I've been trying that lately, actually. Been trying to move like a bot, because sometimes they're actually quite difficult to hit, especially when you're using a sniper rifle. Alright, while I chase down this bounty, I want to ask you another question. What would it feel like to genuinely accept that a huge portion of your life was shaped by events completely outside your control? For some people, that's terrifying. For others, it's actually kind of freeing. Where do you land? I tend to land on freeing. One of the mottos that we have here at Monkitek is embrace the chaos, embrace the randomness in the game of life. We embrace the chaos and we just simply adapt to it. The more adaptable you are, the more easily you can handle chaos and turn it into opportunities. Obstacles become opportunities instead of frustrating, irritating things that piss you off. Often, playing this game can be quite irritating, but if you turn losses into learning opportunities and defeats into just opportunities to practice your skills and get better at the game and better at life. That's the goal, isn't it? We just get better every time, a little bit better every time. And I wanted to run him over. What? Tomahawk through the face. I really love this MXR. You guys got to try the SMG MXR. It is super fun. It's pretty accurate at long distances. And what? Yep. Shot him in the butt. There we go. What? Tomahawk. Alright, where are we going now? Where are we going? Oh yeah, I did hear somebody. Yeah, see, it's got... Oh, man, my aim. Got you with the Tomahawk, though. Still need to warm up a bit. My aim is a little off. Alrighty. Well... While I go search for another contract, I want to get into something about the science of chaos. Let's get into the actual science for a moment, because chaos theory isn't just a metaphor, it's real mathematics with real implications. It starts with a meteorologist named Edward Lorenz. Back in the early 1960s, Lorenz was running computer simulations of weather patterns. One day he wanted to rerun a simulation, so he punched in the starting numbers again. But instead of using the full decimal, 0.506127, he rounded to 0.506. That difference, that tiny, seemingly meaningless rounding to the fourth decimal place, produced a completely different weather forecast. Let that sink in. A change so small you'd normally ignore it produced a totally different outcome. This is what's called sensitive dependence on initial conditions. In everyday language, we call it the butterfly effect. The idea that a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil could, through a chain of cascading events, contribute to a tornado in Texas. Now here's where it gets interesting for us. Klaas takes this principle and asks, if weather systems are this sensitive to tiny changes, what about human systems? What about societies, economies, political movements, individual lives? His answer, they're just as sensitive, maybe more so. We live in a complex, interconnected world where tiny events can set off chain reactions that fundamentally alter the future. And we can't predict them. We can't see them coming. We can barely trace them backwards after they happen. That's not a comfortable realization, but it might be one of the most important ones. Okay, back to the game, and we're off on our way to find somebody to kill. I am far away from my teammates. Sometimes coming downtown can be a bit hairy. There are a lot of people that like to land at this tower and get specialist. Oh no. Oh no. The glitch. Oh my goodness. That is the most wild glitch. I don't know if you guys have experienced that crazy grappling glitch. I haven't seen what it looks like when it happens to someone else. That would be interesting if it's like all vibrating and weird looking. I would love to see like a third-person view of it, or see it happen to someone else, and I don't know what it looks like. Do they just disappear, or do they vibrate? All crazy looking. All right. I'm trying to learn how to switch seats really quickly and shoot from the helicopter, but I sometimes just crash to my death. Alrighty, we are looking for people, and there are no people around here. Alright, while I look for people, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever noticed how the smallest decision in a match, pushing left instead of right, pausing for 1 extra second, can completely change the outcome? Life works in the same way, but we rarely notice because we only see one path we actually took. There's actually one really great TV show. I believe it's on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Dark Matter, and it's all about having multiple realities. A guy basically invents a machine that can go to other realities. And the vast majority of these other realities are just apocalyptic and crazy. Everyone's dead, the earth was destroyed, but a lot of the realities, and there's infinite numbers of them, and a lot of the realities, the guy who made the machine ends up, seeing how his life could have changed with the tiniest little details. And exactly in the kind of scenario, he went right instead of left. He never met his wife. He never had kids. Maybe he met his wife and didn't have kids. Or maybe he met his wife and one of the kids died. Maybe one of the other kids died. All these crazy scenarios. And the show's really cool. You got to check it out. And it's a good show to think about chaos theory and think about your life. Wanted to snipe him out of there. I think about it all the time. What happens if I would have done this differently or that differently? And when you think about it, it starts to make your mind explode. Because there's so many possibilities. There's no way you could possibly know how all these things would have worked out. You just kind of have to have faith that you're choosing the best possible path. But when you're in the planning stages of your life, it's interesting to think about, like, if I do this instead of that, what would be the result? If I do that instead of this, what would be the result? if I stay on this recon? What would be the result if I just would rather go do a bounty contract or focus on doing more looting? Maybe I could get money for a specialist instead of doing these stupid recon contracts. That's what I think about every time I do a recon contract. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's nice. I love the ADS on this thing. Yeah, it's nice to know where the circle's going, but I'd rather have specialist or something. Oh, right, let's do a big game bounty. Big game bounty. Let's go. Come here, come here. Come here. I want you. All right, this MXR is slapping. Not doing too great with the sniper rifle. And the big game bounty is way the heck over there. Good thing I got a chopper. Come on, teammates. My teammates are not being very teammatey. Come join me on the big game bounty. What are you doing? Come here, come here. Don't. Well, okay, I'm out of here. Whatever. Oh no, he died. Oh. All right, I'm gonna try to do this big game bounty. All on my lonesome. All by my lonesome. So what if I told you that scientists literally can't predict the weather more than about 10 days out? Not because our technology isn't good enough, but because the math says it's fundamentally impossible. What does that tell us about predicting anything in our lives? Whoa, oh no, I'm getting shot. What? Oh no, this is bad. This is bad. There's a whole team here. I made a mistake. Leave me alone. No, napalm. Oh no, oh no, a precision. They're chasing me, I can hear them. They're right on my butt. Get off my ass. This was a bad idea. I think there's a whole team of 4, and I'm all by myself, and I'm not good enough to take on a whole team. Right, we're running. I can hear them back there. Hopefully they get distracted and do something else. Well, that was close. This is my one superpower, is running away. Running away from fights. Yep, always gotta have grapples in the pocket. Well, we're safe now, but I'm still a little nervous about this team over there. I was for sure I thought they were gonna follow me, but we'll just keep going back. Keep running away slowly as I try to loot up. Then this is just crazy. So, think about the last major thing that happened to you, good or bad. Now, try to trace it back to the smallest initial cause you can find. How far back does the chain go? Most people are surprised how thin the thread is between normal day and life-changing events. Oh, come here, come here, come here. This could be a life-changing event. For me. No. I got scared. I have to run away again. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. Where's it coming from? No. Grapple, grapple. Grapple, grapple. So, you never know when you're going to have a life-changing event. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. It could be something actually very mundane that turns out to be a huge life-changing event. Those are the sneaky life-changing events. Those are the butterfly effect kind of events where something seemingly meaningless, like you stub your toe, or I thought that was the guy. It looked like his head. Yeah, you never know. I mean, there have been times when I made some stupid small decision like, I'm going to get in this car with this person and, instead of this other car, I'm going to take a taxi cab, or I'm going to get in a car with my friend, and then the car that you're in gets in a horrible car accident. That has happened to me, actually. It's not fun. Not fun to almost die in a car accident. And you never know. I think this is where the I don't know if it's a Chinese proverb. I've heard it as a Native American version. I think many cultures have the same proverb, but the old man that says we'll see. I think that's how it goes. Like something happens to the old man. Well, that's a cool skin that guy had. Where you have an old man with a son, and his son gets a broken leg, and there's a lot of people around here, all kinds of shooting going on. The old man has a son, his son breaks a leg, and because of the broken leg, he can't ride a horse, and he's like bedridden. Oh, everybody says, oh no, that's such a bad thing that happened. This was a bad thing. And, you know, it could be a life-changing event, breaking your leg, and some primitive setting. That's where the proverb comes from. It's kind of in the primitive times with the horse, where people are riding runner horses instead of cars. And the guy says, okay, we'll see. And everybody's like, no, what do you mean we'll see? That was a bad thing. That was totally bad that your son broke his leg. What if it doesn't heal right and he can't work on the farm? And then, but then all of a sudden a war starts up, and the king calls in all the young men and the sons. Since the son has a broken leg, he doesn't have to go to war, and everybody's like, oh no, that bad thing that happened? Yeah. I need grapples. Oh no. I knew there was a guy there. I thought that was the guy that went for the buy. Oh no, he came from above. Okay. Not much I could have done about that. Yeah, so in the proverb goes on and on and on, and I've heard it done a million different ways. But basically, every time something good happens, everybody says, oh, this good thing happened, you're so lucky. And he's like, okay, we'll see, the wise old man. And then the good thing actually turns out to be a bad thing. And then a bad thing happens, and everybody's like, oh no, this bad thing happened. And then the old man's like, well, we'll see. And it turns out the bad thing was actually a good thing. So this is how life goes. This is the chaos of life. You never know what's good or bad. You never know what's a blessing and what's a curse. Me dying back there could have been a blessing, I guess. Maybe this will be a better repositioning. All of our better regain here. So, do you tend to plan your life in detail, or do you keep things loose? There's a research... What? Okay. There's research suggesting that people who plan rigidly tend to be more stressed when things go sideways, because they've invested emotional energy in a specific outcome that was never guaranteed. This was my biggest challenge for the longest time. I'd have all these plans, and then those plans would get, super specific plans with specific due dates, to-do lists, and goals that need to be done, Goals that need to be done on time, and I'd stress like crazy, and the vast majority of the time, my plans would never succeed, and it would just stress me out to have a plan, have any kind of plan. And, as I got older, I have learned that having a very loose plan is the best way. It's the least stressful way. It's still nice to have goals and loose plans, but you need to be adaptable. That's one thing that I've learned in life, that the more skills you have, just like in this game, the more skilled you are at this game, the more adaptable you are, the more decisions you can make on the fly that result in a higher probability of wins, the better. Like right now, I am not sure where to go. The circle is closing in a very weird way. I don't know where anybody is. I know that they're on the other side of this circle, but I don't have very good positioning, and from experience, I know that in the final circle, you need to position yourself as best you can. And I don't see anybody, but I know they're over here somewhere. And I don't have very many armor plates. I don't have a lot of ammo. I don't have much money. I have I have a precision, but I don't see anybody, so I don't want to waste it. This is a pickle.
Squad's in the safe zone.
Quite a pickle.
You're losing ground. Move it.
Nope, nobody over there. Yes, you need a loose plan and you need to be adaptable. That is one of the most wisest things I think I've come across in my life. A hard lesson to learn. Don't get stressed, don't make too many crazy plans. And if you have a boss that makes crazy plans or parents that make crazy plans that are super specific, then just try to be as loose and relaxed as you can. Don't let other people's plans dictate your life and your happiness. Come on, and yeah, I knew he was there. I knew it. He got me, and I don't have plates. I'm all out of plates. There's no plates anywhere. There's nowhere to go. What do? At least I got my whole team here. All right, I got to use this thing. That might have been new. That might have been a waste, but I thought he might move. I thought he might reposition himself. There he is. Yeah, I got him. If I get hit once, I'm dead. I have no plates. No plates.
All squad mates are in the
Come on, peek it, peek it. Come on, come on, come on. Stick your head up. You know you want it. You know you want it. Oh, he just shot my come on. Oh, just missed the headshot. Come on. Got him. Oh, hopefully he doesn't get revived. Don't kill. No. What? Got him. Yes. Yes. Oh, both my teammates are down. Come on, guys. Get your ass back in the fight. Come on. Give me a plate. Give me a plate for reviving you. I need a plate. Oh no, I can't go there. Can't go right, can't go left. Come on. I need a plate. No? Yeah, there was just one sniper hit with no plates. And no survivor. Survivor doesn't do a one-shot protection. Right? That's it. That's it for me for this game. Let's see if my team can pull it off. The gods of chaos have not smiled upon me this game. And I don't think they've smiled upon my teammates here. Oh no. Well, we tried. We got second place. Was a decent game. Not too bad. Paco boss. All right, well, that was a fun game. Didn't win, but it was a good first warm-up game. Managed to not get totally destroyed. So here's the question. If life is this sensitive to tiny, unpredictable changes, why do we feel like we're in control? The answer is fascinating and a little humbling. Our brains evolved to see the patterns, to create cause and effect narratives. This was a survival superpower. Which berries are safe? Which animal tracks mean danger? Pattern recognition kept our ancestors alive. But here's the catch. That same pattern-seeking instinct, when it meets a world far more complex than any ancient forest, starts seeing patterns where there's only noise. There's a term in psychology for this, the illusion of control. Researcher Ellen Langer demonstrated back in 1975 that people consistently overestimate how much influence they have over random outcomes. We press the elevator button and we feel like we made it come faster. We pick lottery numbers and feel like our choices improve our odds. We create elaborate post hoc narratives explaining why things happened, when sometimes they just happened. And there's another piece, the just world hypothesis. Psychologist Melvin Lerner showed that humans have a deep need to believe the world is fair, that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. It's psychologically comforting, but it's also in many cases simply not accurate. Here's why this matters. When we believe we control more than we do, we tend to blame ourselves excessively for failures and take too much credit for successes. We judge others too harshly when they struggle, and we become fragile because our sense of security rests on a foundation that isn't as solid as we think. What if we could see it more clearly, not to become helpless, but to become more honest about what we actually influence? Okie dokie. Alright guys, I am going to try and do some of these weekly challenges. I really enjoy doing these challenges. Warzone is just chaos sometimes, and doing these challenges are a little bit fun. Gives me something to focus on, so I'm going to go for this. Killing an enemy that was damaged with your lethals, and killing them with marksman rifles. This is my meta loadout for this game. Oh, and I'll switch it to Molotov. I think that sounds good. Yeah, I like running the combat axe, but I think for doing this challenge, I'll need to slightly damage them and then kill them. Yes, I will go with this meta loadout. I have lots of metas. I have 10 meta loadouts. We are going to do Rebirth Island, Resurgence Casual, and don't be fooled by the term casual because there are some very sweaty people in this game mode. And usually there's probably, usually about, at least I encounter around 10 to 20 bots, and then the rest are real players. Altogether, I don't know how many there are. There like 100 people in this mode? Yeah, so probably about 20% of those people are actually real people, and the rest are bots. The casual mode is the only mode that I can play. All the other modes are far too difficult, and I would die almost instantly. Okay, as we're dropping in, how many times have you blamed yourself for something that honestly was just bad luck? We do this constantly, turn random misfortune into a personal failing. What would change if you started asking, was that really my fault, or was that just unlucky? Sometimes I feel very unlucky in life. This NPC is a slapping, absolutely slapping. What? Okay, I need to work on my aim. Yes. So, this goes back to how if you think you're in control of everything, then when everything goes wrong, it's your fault. But when everything succeeds, it's all because of you. If you know any control freaks out there, whether they're your friends, spouse, parents, co-workers, any control freak, yes, they love taking credit for when everything goes really well, and they love blaming other people when things don't go well because it sucks to take all the credit and all the blame. It's a conundrum. And sometimes when you think you're unlucky when something bad happens, like we just talked about, do you really know if that bad thing is a bad thing? And there are a lot of people here, which could be a good thing or bad thing. I happen to have a good weapon. VST is slapping. All right, off to a good start. Killing a couple of bots. Got a whole bunch of orange cake crates. Nice, nice. All right, and more bots floating in. This is the fun part about this mode, is if you gotta level up weapons, you get literally raining down bots right now. I've seen some pro players play casual and they get something like 80 kills. I think 81 was the highest number I've seen. I think the highest for me would be around 20-something kills. Mostly bots, but still a few players, if I get a good third party on somebody. If it's just one-on-one, I think I could actually hold my own against good players. Alright, we're going with the meta loadout. Nice. And I got a oh yeah, I gotta do the Molotov. Fire and shoot. Nice. I don't remember how many of those I have to do, but I'll just keep doing it. Alright. Gotta get a munitions box. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. I think this is the difficult part about these kind of challenges. You don't have, you can't grab your axe. That's why I like the combat axe. You could just keep reusing it over and over again, but when you got Molotovs, you only got 2. So, oh man, this bot almost killed me. See, you know, some people talk crap about bots, but man, I've almost died so many times to bots. And they're getting better and better. They're getting better and better. But I am blown through these challenges. The Molotovs are working perfectly. Nice. So think about the last time you succeeded at something. How much of it was your skill and effort, and how much was timing, luck, or circumstances that you didn't create? Most honest answers land somewhere around 50-50, but we rarely talk about the luck half. Now, if you watch people who are really good at playing Warzone, I love watching really good players. I love watching Kami. He's a pretty well-known Call of Duty streamer. And he's probably one of the best players out there. He's super entertaining to watch, and he gets high kills, but even he said that he only wins about 50% of his games. If he wins 50% of his games, he's happy. But he doesn't always do that. So, I mean, take that from, I'm guessing, one of the best players. He may not be the best, but he's only winning 50% of the time. If you look at traders, the top traders in the world, stock traders, crypto traders, usually their win rates are about 30% of the time. And they still make millions of dollars every year. So, you just have to increase your probability, adjust your risk and loss ratios accordingly, so when you lose, you don't lose that bad, and when you win humongously. And I am trying to complete this challenge, and I missed those 2 grenades totally, completely. Nice. Looking for grenades, this challenge is proving to be much more difficult than I was expecting. So I land somewhere around the 50-50. It's if you are focusing entirely on your adaptability, your skills, your knowledge, your wisdom, your strategies, every time you do that, you're increasing your probability of winning whatever game you're trying to win. Whether it's Call of Duty, or trying to get the best job you can possibly get, or climb up the corporate ladder, start a small business, whatever it is, become a streamer. You got to increase your probability of success. Now, if I really took Call of Duty seriously and I wanted to win every single time, I would be playing many more hours a day, and I'd be practicing drills. I'd probably have a team. But, you know, I don't really care about winning this game. I just want to have fun and talk to you guys while I play. And if you guys have any other kind of game that you want to play, or you want to see me play, I am always down to play different games and try new games. We'll be playing Fortnite. What else? Counter-Strike, just for the old school. Counter-Strike's been around for like 20-something years. So, do you catch yourself creating stories about why things happened after the fact? Like, I got that job because I wore the right outfit, or we broke up because of that one argument. What if those stories are just our brains trying to impose order on something that was more random than we'd like? Oh man, that might be Kami right there. Kami always wears the Groot skin. I don't know if he's playing at this time. He's good. He's a movement demon. Oh man, he caught me. He caught me slipping, or just standing in the doorway like a dum-dum. Like a dum-dum. Alright, we got to regain here. So we can create stories after the fact. And, you know, we try to come up with a why of what happened. Why did this happen? Oh, this happened because of this, or this happened because of that. But you don't really know, you don't have a clue of because you don't know all the variables. You don't know if you turned right instead of left, or wore a different dress, or answered that phone, or didn't answer that text. You never know. We don't have the ability. Our brains aren't capable of knowing all the variables. Even the most powerful AIs in the world are not capable of computing all the variables. Oh man, I lit myself on fire trying to complete this challenge. All right. The challenge is going nicely. I probably have completed it already, but I'll just keep killing people. And we are breezing through these challenges. Did totally miss that guy with the fire. It's hard to accept it's hard to accept that if things are random, then we're never really able to claim successes and never really at fault. So it's kind of good and bad. Control freak people out there love taking all the credit, but they don't like taking any of the blame. All right. We got a fire sale going. Get me some grapples and some Molotovs. Oh, that was a thermite. I think I've only ran into bots so far. Oh no, I got killed by that one guy. Here's an interesting test. Next time something random happens, good or bad, try sitting with "that was random." Just thinking that thought. That was random. Oh, so interesting. And see with that for a moment before your brain starts reconstructing a narrative. It's surprisingly hard. Our pattern-seeking instinct is almost instantaneous. We do like to seek patterns. We like to think that there's some kind of reasoning in the world, but if you think about it hard enough, there are so many variables that you just never know. I mean, a lot of people like to say, oh, God did it. There's some, mega super amazing intelligence that's controlling all of this. See that bot? That bot almost killed me. That is wild. Bots are pretty tough. Yeah, you never know. You never know. I mean, maybe someday it'll be proved that everything is somehow part of this giant cosmic plan, and they'll figure out all the secrets to the universe. But for now, it just looks like it's random. It's super random. I mean, look at the science of probabilities. I mean, that's the best kind of science we can come up with. The best explanation we can come up with for how the world works is just you have all these variables, and when you put certain variables together, you're likely to get certain outcomes, but you never actually know. You never know. You can have all the correct variables for producing your supposed outcome, and then it doesn't happen. That's why we have the process of science. The more reproducible something is, the more times you can depend on it, the more likely it is part of our reality. So, do you think you'd be more or less motivated if you fully accepted how much randomness shapes outcomes? Some people assume not acknowledging luck kills motivation, but research tends to suggest the opposite. It actually reduces anxiety and increases resilience. So, do you think you'd be more or less motivated if you fully accepted how much randomness shapes outcomes? Some people assume acknowledging luck kills motivation, but research tends to suggest the opposite. It actually reduces anxiety and increases resilience, because you stop tying your self-worth to things you can't control. Oh, this is Luke. Oh, that was a real guy. Yep. That was not a bot. Not a bot. And he got me. Oh, what was that? What kind of gun was that? That was a rapid-fire shotgun. Cool. I love me some shotguns. Maybe we'll play with some shotguns later on. I got a really fun loadout for you guys. That would have been nice if it was the same guy. Well, at least I got back to my loadout. That's nice. Nice, nice. No, right? Oh no, my teammates are down. Oh no, and I didn't pick up my other weapon. Nice. I picked up only my SMG. And I'm probably gonna die. Oh, I don't have grapples. I'm missing my deck, my grapples. No. And there's people grappling all over the place. Grapples. Nice. Oh no, that was a bad decision. Bad decision. I'm still alive though. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, oi, oi. This is... This guy. This guy. I need plates. Got him, got him, got him, got him, got him. Yeah. Yeah. Man, this is intense. Resurgence is pretty wild. Finally got me an AR. Where is that coming from? I can't even see him. Don't really know where to go. Nope. Didn't get him with that. All right, come on, lock in. Let's do it. Oh, well, I thought, I didn't know that was my teammate. Come on, we got the whole team here. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. What's the strategy here? Oh, oh. Okay. Sounds like one on the roof. Yep, on the roof. Should I wait? Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. All right, we got a PA. Hopefully that'll kick him off the roof. Ooh, oh, no, don't want to go that way. Don't want to go that way. Getting shot from behind. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think I got killed by my own precision. Oh, no. No. Oh. I'm pretty sure I got killed by my own precision. My own airstrike. Nice. Well, GG's. GG's, my friends. GG's. Oh, I think it was that Groot skin guy that killed me the first time. Cool. Okay, let's talk about why we're playing Warzone today and why it's not just background noise. Think about what happens in a typical Warzone match. You drop in, you don't control where the good loot is, you don't control where other players land, you don't control the gas circle, the loadout drops, the buy station locations, you can't control who's camping in the building you're about to push. And we accept all of that. We accept the randomness as part of the game. Nobody quits Warzone because there's too much RNG. That's random number generators. We adapt to it, we work with it, we develop strategies that account for uncertainty rather than pretending it doesn't exist. But in real life, we resist randomness at every turn. When something unpredictable happens in life, we get frustrated, we get anxious, we demand explanations. We want to know why. Why the difference? Here's a theory worth exploring. In games, we enter with the expectation that things will be chaotic. We've accepted the terms, but in life, we've been taught by school, culture, by self-help books, that we're supposed to be in control, that if we just plan well enough, work hard enough, optimize enough, we can dictate the outcome. And so, when randomness hits in real life, it doesn't just surprise us, it threatens our identity. Because we've built our sense of self around the idea that we are the author of our own story. What if the real meta, the real optimal strategy is to approach life with the same mindset we bring to games? We accept the chaos, we work with what we've got. We adapt in real time and we find joy in the uncertainty instead of fighting it. That's what we're going to explore for the rest of this episode, so let's get into it. Okay, we are doing good on the challenges. I finished at least one of them, now we gotta go with some marksman rifle kills. Oh, I got a good loadout for you guys. And 20 eliminations using enemy weapons. Okay. I'll go for the marksman rifles. And I love the M10 breacher. I love shotguns, and I may do a fun shotgun loadout later on. Maybe at the end of this episode. Shotguns are so impractical, and yet they're so satisfying to kill somebody. Oh, this is the loadout, guys. So it looks like a shotgun, but this is actually a marksman rifle, and it is a dual-wield marksman rifle, so it operates basically like a shotgun. And these are the attachments. There's only 3 of them. Oh yeah, there's the Jack Wardens, the Verdant Hook Laser, and the Crown Breaker Choke. And this is the because we got to get kills with marksman rifles, and this is my Kar 98 from, what was it, Modern Warfare 3, I think. And those are the attachments if you guys want the loadout. So that's my meta loadout for those 2 weapons. And this is my fun class. This is actually Yo-Yo's fun class. And you guys will meet Yo-Yo in a future episode. So while we're waiting to get into a match, why do you think we can laugh off dying to a random airstrike in Warzone, but lose sleep over a random setback at work? Both are outside our control, but we've somehow decided that games are allowed to be random while life is supposed to be orderly. What if that distinction is the problem? So, thinking of life as being just as random as a game, I don't know, some people actually don't think that Call of Duty is random. A lot of people, I watch a lot of streamers play Call of Duty, and it's funny whenever something goes wrong, they always blame it. And Call of Duty just hates me, or the developers, I don't know, sometimes they say it in a funny way. Okay, I promise you those shotguns are much better. I just wasn't hitting my shots. So it's actually not a shotgun, it's a dual-wield marksman rifle. Let's try and get a kill. What? Guard him. See, it kills them in 2 shots, or downs them in 2 shots. But it has a very short range, as you can see. But if you hit your shots, it usually takes them out in 2 shots. I've tried a lot of 2-shot weapons. You always see those videos. The meta loadout, the 2-shot, whatever, shotgun, the 2-shot meta. It's never 2 shots, but this one is 2 shots, usually, if you hit both chest shots. All right, let's go. I never know where to go on this map. So if both games and in life are out of our control, if it's truly random, some people don't believe that everything is random. I don't know, maybe some people do think that games are not random, maybe. I don't know, it's hard to tell, you know, there's so many things to compute. The programmers of this game try to build in as much randomness as possible, but there is a certain amount of predictability. And that's also how it goes in life. That's why we have all these sciences. Multiple fields of science, so we get a better understanding of the world, and maybe one day we'll have a computer or an AI strong enough, more powerful enough to consider all the variables, but you never know. We don't know actually that much about the universe. I always like to keep that in mind, that with all our science, with all our technology, with all our math, all the quantum physics, all the telescopes and lasers and quantum physics experiments, the double-slit experiment, the Planck constant, all of these things, I love physics and quantum physics, but with all of that, that only makes up about, I think, 6% of the known of what we think the universe actually is. The rest of it is dark matter. Dark matter and dark energy. That's 94 to 96% of the universe. We know that there's stuff we don't know. We just know that it has an effect on our universe. So how could you possibly say that there's a reason for everything? You know, there's a God. Oh, there must be a reason. I'm not so sure about that. If we don't even know our own universe, if we only know about, forget about what our senses can sense. We're not talking about what you can see, taste, smell, touch. We're talking about the limits, the full limits of all of us combined with all of our technology. We only know about 6% of the universe. Let's say 10%, or be generous. Maybe in a couple more decades when AI gets powerful. I.e., tomahawk. And I totally missed the tomahawk, and the bot almost killed me. See? Bots are still pretty tough. All right, man. Everything goes a lot slower on this Avalon map. After playing Rebirth Island, Resurgence, everything feels slow. But it's nice to relax. So in Warzone, the best players don't rage at the circle. They rotate early and position themselves to deal with wherever it lands. What's the real-life equivalent to that? What does rotating early look like when it comes to your career, your relationships, your health? And I am notoriously bad at paying attention to where the circle goes in the map. I'm usually screwed by it. I definitely got to focus on positioning myself better, but it's also hard because you want to be close to the action, but not dropping in a hot zone right away. All right, so here is my marksman rifle crazy. This is my goofy loadout. The Kar 98 has a super fast quickscope. The dual-wield shotgun marksman rifles are super fun. It's really satisfying to kill peoples. You guys got to try it out. I got this loadout from a streamer named Irby. Shout out to Irby. Oh yeah, see, 2 shots? I wasn't joking. It's a 2-shotter. It's a real 2-shotter. But you got to hit both chest shots. If you hit the legs or just part of the body, it doesn't work. So we don't rage at the circle. Good players always maneuver themselves into position. And I'm never sure where to go on this map for my positioning. But what would that look like in real life? You got to always plan ahead, right? As you get older, especially, you need to plan ahead. If you're in high school, you're planning for either college or what you're going to do for a job or career. Or are you going to go, if you're in college, are you going to go for a higher degree, a graduate degree? You want to get a PhD in something? You always need to think about where the circle's going in your own personal life, and that's kind of what it would look like. Do you want to get married and have kids? Do you want to live like a bum on the beach and surf all day long? Do you want to just play video games and stream all day long? You can make a decision and just own it. Still looking for somebody. I heard somebody down here. I don't see anybody. I feel like I can never... This map is so big I can't hardly see anybody. And I really want to use my cool guns on somebody. This is not the right map for these guns. All right, nobody around, nobody around. So have you ever had a match where everything went wrong? Bad loot, bad positioning, third-partied twice, and you still pulled out a win? That's adaptability in action. How often do you bring that same energy to real-life setbacks versus just feeling defeated? Sometimes everything just goes so poorly, and yet you win, and sometimes everything goes well in the beginning, and then you lose. I'm sure everybody that's played any kind of game has experienced that, and I think we're about to get demolished, and there's a guy there, there's a guy all over the place. Oh, my teammate's down, and I'm gonna run like a little wimp. And there's nothing I can do with this loadout. This is the most ridiculous loadout ever. I got that guy. So what happens when you have a bad setback in real life? In the game, we can just come back. You go back to the lobby or respawn. But in real life, how do you deal with setbacks? That's the real challenge. I don't know. Oh no, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I died. How? My health showed full. There must be a glitch. My health was showing full, I mean. I know that my screen was showing red. Pulsating red. Yes, angry, punch the wall, punch the wall. Angry, angry. Punch, punch. Punch, punch you. I punch everybody. Sorry, I just needed to work out some of that frustration. I work so hard to get my load out, and yeah, well, I'll just go back. I was under the water because I thought the team was coming up behind me. I heard them close behind, so I was trying to be incognito and just swim around to the other side of that bridge. Did not work out like I planned. So how do you deal with setbacks? That was a pretty funky setback. You can either just stop pursuing your goal, or you can adapt and maneuver around the obstacle. You can try again. Sometimes you may have to try 10, 20, 30 times. You know, there's actually a lot of cool stories out there. Look at some of the successful people, like the actors that didn't become famous until they were in their 40s or 50s. I think Samuel L. Jackson, he didn't get his first big role until he was like 40-something, and he's a pretty big actor. I may die again. I need to get my guns. No, I'm gonna die. I don't want to die again. That would be dumb. That would be dumb. So yeah, you just never know. You got to keep trying, and you know. But then again, you may be like Samuel L. Jackson, but you know, you're in your 40s and you don't get famous. You don't get the gig. You're in your 50s. You still don't make it. You know, that's a fact of reality. But as long as you enjoy the process of trying, then even if you fail, at least you had a good time. That's my philosophy. As long as you enjoyed playing the game, that's all that matters. Winning shouldn't be everything. Winning should just be a nice little cherry on top. So think about the loadout you run in Warzone. This is a pretty wild loadout that I'm running. You don't pick a gun that only works in one specific situation. You pick something versatile. Are you building your real-life skills in the same way? Versatile and adaptable. Or are you over-specialized to the point where one change in the meta breaks you? Now, speaking of picking the right loadout, this is definitely not the best loadout. Not for this match, but I'm trying to do a special challenge. It's the best loadout for the challenge I'm trying to do. So is it the meta? No, but it is kind of fun to use. This loadout actually helps me work on my accuracy. Helps me focus on aiming rather than just spraying and praying. Praying to the aiming gods of Warzone. Man, doesn't work so great at a distance. Yeah, this is a great, quick scope, a small map, like Resurgence map. Maybe, what's that new one? Fortune's Keep. Which I don't like that map. It is not a good map. Okay, let's test these. Test these out. Test them in action. What? See? 2 shots? It works. It works. I've seen so many videos. I've tried so many loadouts that say, oh, try the 2-shot shotgun, the 2-shot sniper. Not sniper. 2-shot AR, 2-shot SMG. This is actually 2 shots. So here's the gaming wisdom we never think to apply to life. The meta is always changing. What worked last season might not work for this season. The players who stay on top aren't the ones who master one strategy. They're the ones who learn how to learn. How are you doing at learning how to learn? That's actually the big goal of this channel of Monkitek. It's to learn how to learn. Learn how to think, not what to think. There's a huge difference there.
Enemy hunters were eliminated.
You learn how to learn. And there are really good ways of learning, and there are really difficult ways of learning.
Requesting close air support. Loading new mag.
I don't know if there's a bad way to learn. There's just, I think, more optimal ways to learn. Let's say that. There's suboptimal and optimal ways to learn. But I think if you're a human being and you're developing and you have an open mind, you can always learn something. You might not learn it in the fastest way, in the most efficient way. And that's what we're trying to do here. Find efficient ways to learn and have fun while playing games as best we can.
Incoming fire. There goes their armor.
And we are breezing through these marksmanship. We're doing a challenge of trying to get 20 kills, I believe, with marksmanship rifles. I think we're close. We are close.
Gas is closing in. Relocate.
Get me some munitions box and, ooh, prone firing. I don't really know what this does, but I heard a lot of people say that it is really good for some reason. Who knows? So, before we jump into the rest of the game, I want to tell you about the 9/11 tie. Yes, the kind of tie that you wear around your neck. So, Brian Klaas shares this story, and I really want you to sit down for this one. On September 11th, 2001, that date may sound familiar, a man was getting ready for work at the World Trade Center. He was running on time, ready to go, but the night before, a friend had given him a new tie as a gift. That morning, he decided to iron it before heading out. That took a few extra minutes, and he left the house a little late. He arrived at his office after the first plane hit, and he survived. The friend who gave him the tie worked in the same building and arrived on time, but unfortunately didn't survive. Now, let's pause, because most people's instinct when they hear this story is to search for meaning, to ask why, to wonder if there was some cosmic purpose at work. But Klaas challenges us to sit with the more uncomfortable possibility. Maybe there was no reason. Maybe it was just a tie. Maybe it was just a few minutes, just randomness, doing what randomness does. And here's why that matters. Not as a dark thought, but as a liberating one. If we accept that randomness plays this kind of role, it changes how we relate to both our successes and our failures. It invites us to be more humble when things go right and more compassionate with ourselves and with others when things go wrong. The tie didn't have a purpose, but how we respond to that knowledge, that's where our influence lives. Okay, we are back in it. So the 9/11 tie. What's the most unexpected event that genuinely changed the direction of your life? Not something you planned for, something that just happened. It may be a chance meeting, a random detour, a decision you made on a whim. When you trace it back, how thin was the thread between normal day and everything changing kind of day? You never know when. Today might be the day that everything changes. There are people who randomly win the lottery. Maybe they don't think it's random, but the lottery is pretty darn random. And I cannot find anybody here. I hear a bunch of gunfire going on down there. Oh, there's some guys. All right, let's try this prone firing perk I got on. And it's not helping. I'm not sure if this is the best sniper rifle for this kind of map. How thin was the thread between normal day and everything changing? I think that thread is pretty thin. I mean, you can have regularity in your life. I've known people that they have had the same routine for 40, 50, even longer. 80 years. I've known people that have pretty much lived the same life for like 80 years. Their whole life they've lived in the same place, in the same town, in the same house, worked at the same job, or worked on their own home family farm. I've known those people. And still randomness reaches those people, no matter how strict you have your life, and how orderly it is, and how little chaos there is. Life is always just chaotic. There's nothing you can do about it. It's better to be adaptable. It's those people that have the hardest time when chaos hits. The people that are used to chaos are more adaptable. That's what we try to do here on the Monkitek channel. We try to help you learn how to adapt. And I cannot hit a shot to save my life here. I'm really going hard for this challenge. So how do you decide whether something that happened was luck or fate? Most of us toggle between two depending on the outcome. If it turned out well, we call it fate. If it turned out badly, we call it bad luck. What if they're both the same thing, just randomness with different emotional packaging? There's a lot of talk if you go, oh, I got sniped. I forgot I don't have survivor. Oh, my buddy saved me. Thank you, oh no, he got sniped too. Oh no, this is not looking good. Hey? And weaving. Duck, dive, dodge, duck. Is that how it goes? The dodgeball movie. All right, thanks, buddy. Thank you, my friend. I will do my best to stay alive. So was that unlucky that I just got sniped, or just lack of awareness? I totally did not see that guy. Come on, hit your shots. Oh no, my teammate. Oh, well, oh no. Yeah, that's a little too far for the dual wield. Lockwoods didn't even stand a chance. 21st place to 21st place. Well, you know, that happens. It happens, guys. Okay, let's sit with the uncomfortable part. You control nothing. Now, I know that sounds extreme, and your brain is probably already pushing back, right? Of course, I control things. I control what I eat, where I go, what I say, and on a surface level that's true. You make choices, and those choices matter. But zoom out just a little bit, and the picture changes. You didn't choose when you were born, you didn't choose where you were born, or to whom. You didn't choose your genetics, your native language, or the economic conditions you grew up in. You didn't choose the cultural values that were installed in you before you could question them. You didn't choose most of the opportunities that came your way, or the ones that didn't. The landscape your choices operate on, you didn't build it either. It was built by millions of tiny events stretching back before you existed. And even the choices themselves, the things we feel most in control of, are shaped by factors we're often unaware of. Our mood, our blood sugar, how much sleep we got, what we read that morning, and who we talked to last. This isn't a nihilistic point, this is a clarity point, because when we overestimate our control, we set ourselves up for unnecessary suffering. We blame ourselves for things that were never in our hands. We judge others for circumstances they didn't create either. The invitation here isn't to give up, it's to get honest about what we actually control versus what we influence versus what we have zero power over. That honesty is the foundation of real strategy. Okay, we are gonna do some more Battle Royale Casual Verdansk. And gonna try a different loadout this time. Hopefully we do better this time than we did before. And let's check our loadouts. Let's see, I want to try Philo's loadout. You'll meet Milo, Philo, Fifi, and Yo-Yo. These are all students of mine. And Yo-Yo's obviously is the most bizarre one. But I think, let's see. I think Philo's loadout, yes. the EGRT. This is sort of a SMG version. It's got the big magazine on there for when I miss a whole bunch of shots. And the Strider. I'm a big fan of the Strider. This looks like a pretty good loadout, so let's try that. Alright, match is about to begin. So, when was the last time you felt completely out of control? Not in a game, but in your actual life. How did you respond? Most of us oscillate between two extremes. We either freeze up and shut down, or we panic and try to grip harder. What would a third option look like? Now, a third option that I think is quite possible is learning how to adapt to when things go wrong. If you focus on good skills, on the best wisdom, on the best strategies, then you're more likely to win. Win the game of Call of Duty, win the game of life. And that's why we like watching other pro players. We watch people that are good, people that have won the game. And then we learn how to strategize better for the next game. Oh yeah, this EGRT is slapping. And I like the sniper too. This is a pretty good loadout, Fifi. And we are ready to start the match. So, when was the last time you felt completely out of control? And when those moments happen, it could be just a moment of pure, absolute chaos, or maybe just, you made some plans and they didn't work out. And it can be really frustrating to realize that you don't have much control. But if you accept and embrace that you never had control in the first place, that was an illusion, now, what do? You control the things that you can control. You can control somewhat. You can control your sleep, your diet, your daily routine. Sometimes, you have to go to work, you have to go to school. You have to do whatever you have to do during the day, but you do have, let's say, windows of opportunity and some small changes that you can make to your day. And, sometimes you make plans and they don't work out. It's all about just going with the flow. If today you don't have good energy and you were planning to do a whole bunch of stuff, well, maybe you got to change your plans, be more flexible, be adaptable. Flexibility, adaptability, those are the keys to having a very pleasant and wonderful life and still get a lot of stuff done. So think about the biggest success in your life and now be brutally honest. How much of it came from factors you didn't control? The timing, the people you happen to know, the economy, your health, where you grew up. It's not about discounting your effort, it's about seeing the full picture. Oh yeah, hey, this Hawker is really nice. I'm liking the Hawker. Has a good ATS speed. Can it hit from a distance? Oh, maybe if I had better aim. So, yes, we talked about this with control freaks. They love taking all the credit. They do not like taking the blame. Nobody likes taking the blame. But if you realize that life is all about certain circumstances and sets of variables and probabilities, then there's really, when you have something great happen to you, and when something terrible happens to you, it's not really your fault either way. It's not your responsibility to control every single variable in the world. I can only control in Call of Duty what's in front of me, basically. I can't control anything anyone else does. I can't control my teammates who are way the heck over there for some reason. Even though I marked a contract. I like being a team player, but I also like the freedom to roam on my own. I do like playing solos sometimes, instead of quads with teams, but I always die much faster in solos. And casuals, Going solo versus quad is pretty wild. So we're doing some contracts, trying to get our loadout all set. Now here's a question that messes with people. If you were born in a completely different country, to completely different parents, in a completely different decade, would you still be you? If the answer is probably not, what does that tell us about how much of our identity is actually chosen? Man, this VST is slapping. Nice, nice. All right, we're still looting up. We have enough for the loadout, that's great. I'll just get this last box, and I love me some grapples. I grapple all over the place. It's such a quick and easy way to get around. It's also terrifying when people roll up on you with those grapples. So, if you were born in a completely different place, in a completely different situation, you would be totally different. There's really no way about that. I don't know how you would argue with that. If I dropped in a completely different place in this map, if I went to the big tower, oh, that worked out pretty well. The car killed him. If I went to that giant tower on this map, where, like, all the best players go because they want to get specialist and all the other goodies over there, I would probably die instantly, but if I land on the outer edges of the map, I might be able to survive a little bit longer, and I'll get my loadout and have a little bit easier going of game. Your gaming experience will be radically different depending on where you land, and even if you land in the same exact spot every time, it won't be the same. Sometimes there'll be a whole bunch of people there. Sometimes nobody. Sometimes there's nobody and then you get rolled up on by a giant team. So we're testing this EGRT loadout with the Strider sniper. So do you notice how some people almost seem addicted to the feeling of control? Overscheduling everything, micromanaging details. Oh, nice. This EGRT is awesome. Yes, the control freaks, the micromanagers, needing to know the plan at all times. What's your plan? What are you doing? What's your schedule? What do you think that's really about? Control or anxiety that comes from admitting how little control we actually have? Yes, I have known many control freaks, and my team is getting destroyed over there. Control freaks, I've found, don't really like playing games like Warzone. I don't know, maybe they do, but most control freaks I've known, they don't like playing games where there's a lot of chaos. They like orderly games. They like the predictable games where every level is the same and you can play the same game over and over again. And I almost broke my ankles and my teammate died. This is not looking good. I still got one teammate here. Yes, being a control freak is really fun when it all works out, and it's really not fun when it doesn't work out. Oh. I got melted by this guy. The Peacekeeper. This guy's rocking the Peacekeeper, and he hit all his shots. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Wow, punch. Let's see if we can win this gulag. All right. Is he a real? No, he's a bot. Probably a bot. It's still nice. Still nice to win a bot fight. I have lost bot fights. I have been killed by bots, and why is my loadout way over there? Why did it spawn me so far away? That's bizarre. And my teammate is already asking to be bought back. How is it possible you got killed in the gulag? We just started the game, buddy. So what's one area of your life where you've been fighting for control over something that's fundamentally outside your power? A relationship outcome, other people's opinions, the future. What would it feel like to genuinely release that? Not give it up, but not give up completely, but redirect that energy towards something you can actually influence. Yes, we spend a lot of time worrying about things, worrying about plans, worrying about trying to control everything. But once you let go of it, I promise you, your life will be so much more enjoyable.
Got a contract here.
And if you feel yourself slipping back towards control, wanting more and more control, you will notice the stress levels rise. Yes, life is much better when you let go. And sometimes people let go too much. They become drug addicts or bombs or, maybe criminals. They just decide, oh, the world is just so messed up, I'm going to be messed up with it. And somehow I picked up an Akita shotgun. That was interesting. I thought I had a different weapon. Yes, let go of control, my friends. Embrace the chaos, embrace the randomness, and just do the best you can. Focus on developing your skills, getting better at whatever it is that you're doing, and just giving up the fact that you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen next. I could be sniped while I'm picking my loadout. I could win the game. We could win the game together, teammates. It's like we're finally working together in some way. So we're going to pause here, and I want to talk about why we resist randomness. If you're having trouble with letting go of control, then I am speaking to you. So if randomness is this persuasive, why do we fight it so hard? Why does the idea of you control nothing, make most people uncomfortable, even angry? Because our brains are wired to resist it. Evolutionary psychology gives us part of the answer. Our ancestors who were best at spotting patterns, real or imagined, survived. The ones who heard a rustling in the bushes and assumed it was just the wind sometimes got eaten. The ones who assumed a predator and ran, they lived to pass on their genes. So we inherited a brain that is basically a pattern completion machine. It sees causes for every effect, it builds narratives, it connects dots, even when the dots are random. There's another layer too. Psychologist Melvin Lerner identified what he called the just world hypothesis, our deep, often unconscious belief that the world is fundamentally fair, that people get what they deserve, that outcomes reflect character. This belief is comforting. It makes the world feel predictable and safe, but it comes with a dark side. When something bad happens to someone, we tend to assume they must have done something to deserve it. And when something bad happens to us, we assume we must have failed somehow. Klaas argues this is one of the most psychologically damaging patterns in human thinking because it turns bad luck into personal guilt, and it turns other people's misfortune into something we can dismiss. Oh, they must have done something wrong. But what if we could keep our pattern-seeking superpower while also recognizing when it's misleading us? That's the balance we're looking for. All right, we are getting back to it. Starting a scavenger. Looting up, got a munitions box, nice. So, have you ever blamed someone for something that was clearly just bad luck? Maybe a friend who lost a job or someone who got sick. We do it subtly. We say, well, they should have, or if they had just done this, they should have done this. Oh, they should have done that. It's our just world brain trying to maintain the illusion that the world is fair and predictable. All right.
Napalm strike ready for delivery.
So, is the world just and fair? This has been a question for the ages that no human has sufficiently answered. You can read it about in the Bible, in ancient stories, the book of whatever. What is it? The book of Ecclesiastes, I believe, is where he says, vanity, vanity, or smoke, smoke, however you translate it. Everything is vapor, everything is smoke. And the meaning of that, if you know the Bible, you know that phrase, vanity, vanity, or smoke, smoke, vapor, vapor. However it's translated, it's basically like life is pretty much meaningless. And he goes on in the book, and I love this part of the Bible. I don't like a lot of parts of the Bible, but this is very wise. He says, "Oh, I see. The wicked prosper and the righteous suffer," and he's basically struggling with it. The book of Job is very similar. Job is like, "Hey, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this?" We're all trying to figure it out. Our just world hypothesis type brains can't figure out the solution to this. There's no seeming pattern, and we're pattern-seeking people. We're pattern-seeking humans with pattern-seeking brains that we're trying to make sense of everything. Looks like we have an advanced UAV somehow. That's cool. Looking around, there's a guy, like right out in front or somewhere close by. Okay. So what story do you tell yourself about why your life is the way that it is? That was a nice shot, by the way. I'm liking this sniper rifle. Is it a story of choices and consequences, or does it include chapters about luck, timing, and things you didn't control? I cannot hit my shots on this guy. The stories we tell ourselves shape how we feel about where we are, and how harshly we judge the gap between where I am and where I want to be. How badly do you judge yourself? What story do you tell yourself about the way life is? Are you one of those people that says, "Oh, there's a reason for everything. This happened for a reason, that happened for a reason," or maybe it's all in God's hands, you know? Whether I've heard non-spiritual people say everything happens for a reason, but does it?
Got a contract here.
Yeah. Looks like there's a team of bots here. That's fun. I'm trying to do some big game bounties, but often they're all the way across the map.
Target located. Bring 'em down.
Well, I'm missing my shots. The bots stop and go, like wiggle, stop in weird times. They don't move like normal players. It always gets me. It always fools me. The bot shimmy. There needs to be some kind of dance move. The bot shimmy. Come on, let me get a headshot.
Missile strike incoming. They're on me.
So, what do you guys think about luck? How do you react when someone tells you their success was partly luck? These are the opposite of control freaks. You know, they'll be the people that say, "Yes, that was just lucky that I survived, or that I got that job, or that I did that." And that's sort of the opposite of saying, you know, "I know all of reality and I control all of it." And people that just feel lucky or feel blessed. I'm just blessed by God. And most people get uncomfortable when luck is involved. We want to believe they earned every bit of it. And that threatens our sense of agency. So we need to have a balance between our own agency and like what we think we control in our lives, and how much of it is just randomness, just luck. The ancient Greeks talked about the Fortuna, I believe. I think that's what they called I think most pantheistic religions have a god of fortune, or fortuna. God of fortune has smiled upon you. Whenever you would win some kind of lottery or something good would happen in your life, the ancients would say, "Ah, yes, this god has smiled upon you. The gods, the fates have smiled upon you." Oh, it's just fate. Do you believe in fate? Fate or luck? Or it's just randomness? So is there a way to accept randomness without it making you feel powerless? A lot of people equate life is random with nothing I do matters, but those aren't the same thing. Your actions still create ripples, you just can't predict exactly where those ripples go. Does that distinction feel meaningful to you? I am loving this EGRT. This is a good loadout. I hope you guys try this loadout. And the Strider is pretty quick. It's quick and accurate. It's much better than the VS Recon. Or maybe I'm just all warmed up now.
Classified weapons are entering the area soon. Watch the skies.
So I think the way to accept randomness is that you think in probabilities. At least that's how I deal with it. I try to increase my probabilities of success whenever possible, and that's why I love watching educational videos, and that's why I hope you're watching this video. Ooh, this looks like a real guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, where are you, buddy? Oh, specialist. Nice, nice, nice. Now we got specialist. It seems like luck is on our side. I caught that guy slipping. Somehow he didn't hear me, and I got very lucky. Was it luck? Or was it skill? Maybe a bit of both. I increased my chances of winning that fight.
Got a contract here. Be advised, opposing forces now possess a classified weapon.
Before we finish up the game, let's tackle one of the most common phrases in the English language. Everything happens for a reason. We've all said it, we've all heard it, and most of the time, it's meant kindly as comfort for someone going through something hard. But Klaas makes a really compelling case that this phrase, however well-intentioned, might actually be harmful. Think about it through the lens of the 9/11 tie story. If everything happens for a reason, then what was the reason the friend who gave the tie died? What was the reason the man who ironed the tie lived? Was there a cosmic plan that selected one for survival and one for death based on a tie? When we say everything happens for a reason, we're implying that bad things serve a purpose, that suffering is meaningful, that there's a hidden order behind the chaos. And for some people, in some situations, that belief genuinely helps. But for others, especially people dealing with trauma, illness, loss, or injustice, it can feel deeply invalidating. Like their pain is supposed to be happening, like they should find the lesson in something that was just genuinely terrible. So when someone tells you everything happens for a reason, after something bad happens, does it actually help, or does it sometimes feel like they're dismissing what you're going through? There's a difference between finding meaning in adversity and being told the adversity was supposed to happen. All right, so what do you guys think about that? Does everything happen for a reason? Does it? Does it? I used to think this way. I used to think that there was a God or there was some kind of universal force deciding every micro action going on in the world. It feels good to think that there's a reason that you're suffering. I'm buying a loadout, by the way, so that in case I die, it's somewhere near the final circle, but I don't think I threw it far enough. It is comforting to think that when something bad happens, when a friend dies or loved one dies, or when you get seriously injured or seriously sick, it's nice to think that it happened for a reason, and if it didn't happen for a beneficial reason, whether you think it was maybe a punishment from a god that something bad happened, or blessing that something good happened, or if it was good luck or bad luck. Yes, it's very difficult to cope with a terrible event when there's no reason for it, when you can't find a reason. And what most people do is they don't find the reason, they just say there must be a reason. That's the most frustrating thing for somebody that really thinks about life, really an intellectual who analyzes life. If you don't have a religious belief or belief in spirituality, you're looking for a logical reason for your suffering. And when somebody with a different mindset that's more geared towards spirituality, it's a little frustrating when they tell you, oh, there must be a reason. I don't know what it is, but there must be a reason. Oh no. Man, my teammate saved me there. It is getting a little hot over here, a little hot. I don't see many people, and oh no, my teammate just went down. This could be the end. Oh no! Specialist in a good loadout. Oh, that's how it goes, guys. We were looking good there. I had specialist. Our whole team was kind of in the same area. We were down one team member, so maybe that had something to do with it. Only a 3-man team. Okay, well, I think that's good for today, guys. I think we're at the over 2-hour mark. I have a lot more that I want to cover. I had a lot in my notes. So I guess we'll be doing a part 2 and possibly more parts. And hey, life is very random and chaotic, and we need to understand it. So we'll do a couple more videos on chaos theory and Brian Klaas's research. And I want to leave you with a couple of interesting questions, because this whole idea of everything happening for a reason is a big one. It's the biggest answer that humans have for chaos, for the randomness that we see. And when we don't see the patterns, which we often don't, we just say, there must be a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but there must be a reason. So think about the worst thing that's happened to you. Did it happen for a reason, or did you create meaning from it afterward through your response? That distinction matters because one puts you in control of the narrative and the other makes you a passive character in someone else's cosmic story. So are you going to be your own character in the story? Then you'll have to figure out what your character's going to do next. What's your character arc? We always see in movies or books or TV shows that a character has an arc. They start out not knowing something, then they do, then they act on it, and then hopefully everything works out in the end. Why do you think we're so attracted to the idea of the cosmic purpose? Is it comforting? Is it a way to avoid the anxiety of randomness? Or is it just something deeper? A human need to feel like our suffering isn't pointless. All of these are valid, but they lead to very different relationships with reality. Another question for you. How would you comfort someone if you couldn't say everything happens for a reason? What would you say instead? This is actually a really useful exercise because the alternatives tend to be more empathetic, more honest, and more connecting. Something like, I'm just here for you. This is really hard, and I'm not going anywhere. That's something so much better. If you have a habit of saying that everything happens for a reason, just say, I'm here for you. If you don't know what to say, if you don't know what the reason is why something happened, just don't say that there's a reason. Just say, I'm here for you. I'm here to be your friend. I'm going to help you out in any way I can. That's really the best we can do. And here's the question underneath the question. Can life be meaningful without a cosmic plan? Most philosophical traditions say yes. Meaning is something we create, not something we discover. Does that feel empowering to you, or does it feel lonely? Something to think about, and until next time, embrace the randomness in the game of life, my friends.